Hi, everyone. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the situations that we might come across when we visit our loved ones during the holidays, or could be any time of the year. But a lot of times we maybe haven't seen them in a while or their living situation. And you might discover that their medical needs have changed. There might be hoarding or clutter, unsafe situations that you maybe didn't know existed until that moment. And I want to share with you the top 5 questions that I would be asking and have asked myself over the years um, when I've come across a situation I didn't know about, or I learned that it had gotten worse over time. So here are the top 5 questions, and then I'll go into a little more detail. And the first question is, what is the end goal for your loved one? What is your capacity to be able to assist? Are you the right person for this task? What needs to be addressed immediately, right now, for your loved one? And what resources can you potentially pull in right now? When you're looking at the first question, what is the end goal for your loved one? Here's some things to consider. Can they continue living as they are right now? Has their medical situation declined to the point where they may need to be living in a fixed income apartment, independent living? Maybe they need a home health aide or someone who can do housekeeping or grocery shopping. It might be a short-term solution in the moment. The second question is, what is your capacity to be able to assist? Do you live nearby? Are you commuting a long distance to work? Do you have young kids at home? What other obligations do you have that might make it very difficult for you to assist this person? The third question is, are you the right person for this task? Even if help is needed, it doesn't mean you have to be the one to clean the house, do the grocery shopping, drive them to appointments, or meet every single need. A lot of times people don't listen to their adult kids very well. So sometimes you may not be the right person for the task, but that doesn't mean you can't find the right person for the task. And number 4, what needs to be addressed immediately, right now, for your loved one? Do they need help with meals, showers, managing their money, getting prescriptions, cooking meals in something besides the microwave? Are you looking at situations where there might be a gas stove that they're forgetting about and leaving on? What type of things do you really need to look at right now for safety reasons? And number 5 is, what resources can you potentially pull in right now? Could it be someone who does housekeeping, a driver, a home health agency, maybe getting them to a doctor's appointment? If it's severe clutter and hoarding, maybe you need someone who can do some junk hauling or maybe organizing. And just as a reminder, how we approach these situations and what we say can have a big impact on whatever we're trying to achieve that's positive. And a lot of times, our loved ones or people that we know in our lives won't recognize they have an issue or the extent of their decline. And that's why we end up having to ask ourselves these questions. And is there a way we can help? Is there a way that we can do something even if we live from far away? And, you know, there was a period of time when I lived 3 hours away from my parents. I lived even further, but when their health was declining, I lived 3 hours away. I move closer. And even then, that does not necessarily mean proximity is helpful. It, in some ways, can make it more challenging. So I think it's really important to look at what the needs are. And a lot of times they may refuse our suggestions, our interventions, and it can be really challenging to have to start telling an older person in our lives what to do or how to do it. And I just want to bring this up, particularly as we go into the holidays, because a lot of times we haven't seen people in a long time, and we may come across a situation that we were not anticipating or we didn't know the extent of it. And I'll just summarize again the 5 questions that you want to be looking at. What is the end goal for your loved one? What is the capacity for you to be able to assist? Are you the right person for the task? What needs to be addressed immediately, right now, for your loved one? And what resources can you potentially pull in right now? When I lived at a distance, I had a neighbor of my parents who texted me and let me know some of the things that were going on. And they had good eyes on the situation. And they have since passed away, but I'm very grateful that they were a person who did their best in their capacity and ability to help without overextending or stomping on their own boundaries. So sometimes you might have someone near your parent or loved one that is that person for you and can let you know what's really going on. So anyway, those are my tips. Those are the questions I would ask and consider. And if you're dealing with a hoarding situation, please feel free to join us in the Hoarding Solution community. And I will come back and put a link to that group here. Also available for consultations and helping you work through some of these things if you come across them. So thanks so much for being here today, and I hope you have a great day and happy Thanksgiving.